I hope everybody can see me. You know me. I need to know that you can hear me and see me. Somebody wave or say, yes, we see you. Yes, we hear you. I'll just let you know that I have a cough. I always have something, cough, sniffles, cold, allergies, who knows? Yes, yes, yes. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? We have some big stuff to talk about today, don't we? Sorry, my chair. We have a lot to talk about today. First of all, I hope everybody is keeping warm. It is cold, cold, cold here. It's like down into the 20s. It's so weird. We went from 60s during the day and like 50s at night down to 20s at night and now a high in the 40s. It was like the second Thanksgiving happened. Whoop, it was like somebody flipped a switch and here comes the cold weather. It's absolutely it's just shocking to me how much it changes. So, it seems from my other channel that everybody really liked the Thanksgiving montage that I put up. And for those people who have been asking, I'm not sure why. A lot of people are asking what I was making in that dish. I was making the normal, Thanksgiving green bean casserole. For those of you who don't know, I always check the container to make sure I'm doing it right. But basically, you drain 2 cans of green beans, you throw them in a dish, then you put in 1 to 2. I use one can of cream of mushroom soup, and you put that in. And then you put some salt, you put some pepper, you put like a 4th cup of milk, you mix it all up, you bake it. And then about 10 minutes before it's ready, you put the fried, the fried onions on top. And then you put that back in the oven and then you take it. I mean, it's always gone. Like the family like sucks it down. My husband made homemade mashed potatoes. We made a homemade turkey. Of course, I cut corners and made crescent rolls right out of the package. I didn't bake bread. What else? The gravy, I cut corners on the gravy. It came from a jar. I admit it. I cut corners where I can, but there's some things you make from scratch. We always make the turkey from scratch. We always make the green bean casserole from scratch. We always make the mashed potatoes from scratch. I mean, and we try to make everything ready at the same time. And by the way, for those of you who were asking about that mat, I saw it on Amazon. They were doing an Amazon Black Friday deal. They have different ones. They have ones that are glass they're this big and they stay this big. I got the kind that rolls up for storage. So my husband was like, do you think that'll really work? So I plug it up. I turn it up to 212 degrees. I think it was. I set the timer. That thing got so hot. I had the glass dish from the casserole sitting on it. When I went to pick the glass dish up, it burned my fingers. So yeah, it works. So if you guys think about getting one of those, it was fabulous. And it closes up for storage, which is really nice. So whenever we do big things now, we whip that out, we put it on the counter. And if you saw the mat underneath to protect your countertop from burning. So it was really good. So everybody really liked that. And I sped it up. I did like a Meghan Markle thing. I was like, I'm just going to tape this and make it go really fast. Boom. Got over 1,000 views. It's like, what the hell? Crazy. All right. Now, I don't know how to do the gravy from pan drippings. Nobody ever taught me. My mother never taught me. Her idea of fresh food was opening up a can. She was not a cook. And so I learned absolutely nothing from her about cooking. Nothing. So, yeah. So I try to do it on my own. Okay, here we go. Here's the big wahoo. As I showed you guys in my video yesterday, whenever I talk about something, I provide proof. And before people go, you're talking about other channels. Do you know how many channels there are on YouTube that are talking about things and they provide no proof? They just say, my source said, this is what I heard. This is what's going on. So when I put something up, you guys know there's either proof or there's an article. I don't just make crap up out of my head and put it on my video. So yesterday, first of all, you guys know about my video about Australia. So let's start with, I'm sharing my screen. You guys know I'm getting better and better at this. Let's start with as you can see, my YouTube, or not my YouTube, my Twitter. As you can see, my Twitter. And as you're going through the Twitter, you see this picture? Somebody went, oh my God, you people, that's not real. That's AI. I would hope it is AI. It looks nothing like Meghan Markle. And then if you go down, they also referred back to this picture, which clearly is AI. And wait, it gets back. This picture, which is clearly AI. I mean, I'm telling you, people were having a meltdown going, that's not real. That's not real. That's not real. I'm like, you're absolutely right. It's not real. Those are AI pictures because where are you going to come up with a picture where Australia says no? So everybody needs to slow your roll just a little bit on that. And before, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I got a lot of email. That's clickbait. That's not clickbait. I provided proof in the form of an article. Clickbait is some of the articles I've seen where people are putting out videos saying that as ever products are being returned by the droves, and Meghan is just horrified. Except if you look here, let me go back because I want to make sure I get this right. Well, that's the wrong one. Hang on. Stop that. We want to share our screen with here. If you look there, what does that say at the top? Due to the nature of the items sold, all sales are final, meaning the items are non-refundable and returns and exchanges are not available. There you go. So when you have people doing videos saying, oh yeah, they're returning the products and Meghan Markle is horrified. They're not returning the products. Products cannot be returned. Those are the kind of videos that I think people should look out for. The video that I put up was about the Australian tour. Now, if you watched my video, and I'm going to read this to you now, we're going to do it together, okay? It says, and I want you to get the keywords that are coming out, okay? The keywords are really important. It says that claims have surfaced that Harry and Meghan attempted to secure HRH-style treatment during what was planned as a private visit. Apparently, Australian officials allegedly shut down what they are now calling a fake royal tour, refusing to allow the Sussexes to present themselves as working royals or representatives of the crown. According to sources inside the Department of Ministry and Cabinet, the couple's team submitted requests that went beyond typical arrangements for celebrity visits. They reportedly included security coordination reserved for royal family members, VIP arrival protocols, HRH-style formalities, even though Harry and Meghan have stepped back from royal duties. Officials were stunned. An insider described the reaction as a hard stop, immediately non-negotiable, because Australia is a nation long aligned within the monarchy, and they refuse to blur the lines between legitimate royal tours and private commercial ventures, especially when public resources are involved. The situation escalated further when allegedly the couple then attempted to frame the trip as a charitable engagement to increase media legitimacy. Canberra quickly issued internal guidance clarifying this is not a royal tour and must not be treated as one. The wording is deliberate, and it was spread through channels, government channels, within hours. Insiders say the fallout has reached London. So the point is, Australia has stood firm and has said, we're not going to do this. People are like, Australia didn't issue a statement. No, they didn't. This is all coming from insiders. You know how you constantly hear an insider at the palace said this, and it's usually correct. An insider, a source from the Sussexes said that, and we know that they're working for the Sussexes. Sources in the government have said that they have requested a tour. We know they wanted to tour. We know that the letter that was released from the person that they met in New York, I think they were feeling out the government to see if the government would give them, a tour. Obviously, The answer to that is no. And you have to have a reason to go to, I mean, their reason for going to Nigeria was Invictus, right? Every time they go somewhere, it's for Invictus. They use Invictus as the reason to get there. But you can't use that as a reason to go to Australia. It's not going to work. You have to have a reason to go on one of your tours. And I personally don't think, I totally believe this article is correct. I totally believe that Australia said absolutely not. And that's my personal opinion. And it's backed up by an article, which I clearly showed you in my video. So, because there are people going, this is a lie. This isn't true. There's no public statement. Oh my God. There was one person. I have to show you this. Sometimes I wonder about people. Somebody wrote, this is total and absolute BS. I'm Australian. This is the first I'm hearing about it. There's been no official statement or press release made by our PM or Governor General over the past week. Feel free to correct me. And I'm like, I don't have to correct you. It says sources. It's from inside. There has not been an official statement. And obviously this person who wrote that hasn't watched my video. So if I put it up, I show you a picture, a statement, an article, proof of some sort. I didn't just pull this out of my nether regions. There was an article, which is why I covered it. I personally feel that they really tried to go to Australia. I feel like they want to go to Australia. I feel like their last Australian visit was such a nightmare. And of course I didn't cue them up because I'm technically not that great. But of course, if you guys remember when they went to Australia after they announced that she was pregnant, there's a picture of the four of them standing where the opera house is in the background and Meghan is standing to the side, always, not with the group. There were reports that she threw hot liquid on somebody. Tom Bauer reported that it was like working with a bunch of teenagers because they spent all their time on social media looking for anything negative that was placed on social media. Meghan had Jessica Maroney flown in as her designer, even though when she went there, she had all of her clothing. So basically, she used the royal trip as a reason to tag her friends along. Her and her husband went. What can I say? I'm sure if the trip had been approved, there would have been a public statement. And I feel like, let's not forget that and I reported this in my previous video, let's not forget that when the Australian Prime Minister, I believe it was in the UK and had that private meeting with Charles, he said, we would love for the Prince and Princess of Wales to come to Australia. We open for them. So I'm sure, of course, Harry and Meghan are trying to kill it. Of course they are. Of course they're trying to get in on what, William and Catherine are doing. Let me remind you guys, please, this is just a reminder that when William and Catherine went to the United States for the Earthshot Prize, Harry and Meghan, within 3 days, released the trailer for their Netflix show, released promos for Invictus, and released a picture of Archie's face from a Zoom call. They're like 5-year-olds kicking and screaming, I want the attention over here. That's exactly what they're doing. And they do it so often that at this point, it's obviously not, unintentional. It's absolutely intentional. The royal family hasn't had to say a word because it's very obvious when you're watching everything, this is what they're doing. And it makes them look so bad. And I don't even think they're smart enough to realize that it makes them look so bad. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. It's a little bit scary. So I do hope William and Catherine go to Australia at this point, because I think that would just be the funniest thing. We do know that William and Catherine are coming to the USA for the July 4th celebrations. They're going to be hanging out with Trump and Melania, who, man, that woman can dress also. So they're going to be coming, and I'm pretty sure Harry and Meghan will not be invited to that, although I do believe that Harry and Meghan will do something to attempt to steal the attention. I mean, like clockwork. It's like time your watches, people. Oh, Thank you, Carol. She's so nice. By the way, just so you know, the super chats that I get, like Carol sends stuff and she tells me to spoil Finn. So I buy stuff for Finn with those super chats. You guys remember that we have Mira with us. Our German friends are out of the country again, and the dog has been with us for almost a month. I think he goes home in another 2 weeks. It makes me really sad because we've been watching him on and off for years. He's so old at this point, he can't even jump up on the bed with us. He's sleeping on the floor. We tried to pick him up and put him on the bed. His arthritis is so bad. It's terrible. He can't get on the bed. He is playing with Finn's toys, though, and he has chewed through 3 of them. Even one of them is supposed to be the kind that you can't chew through. And I sent the pictures to the owners and said, your dog is an animal. Look what he's doing. He's ripping the crap out of the toys. I'll be showing that in another video also on the other channel. So, yeah, you know what, Lisa, you're right. I believe it was in Australia that she gave that interview to Tom Bradley. Nobody's asked me if I'm okay. And you know how it is when you're a newlywed and a new mom and, you remember it. Nobody's asked me if I'm okay. I'll never forget. Was it Australia? It may not have been Australia. I don't think that was not Australia. Actually, the more I think about it, Australia was when she first announced that she was pregnant. Wherever she was, I remember it was one of the poorest areas, and they had rolled out the red carpet and had done everything they could to make these two feel welcome. And then she stood in the middle of that Africa. Thank you. She stood in the middle of that country and said, nobody's asked me if I'm okay. And I was horrified. I'm like, crazy. By the way, if you're still watching, whoever you are, somebody sent me a video clip about a year ago. Do you remember when they were in Africa and they were standing there they were being interviewed and talking about how happy they were to be on this tour. And they ended somebody sent me a video when the camera was shut off. Meghan literally shoved Harry. That video accidentally got deleted. And I have not been able to find it. Obviously, it's not going to be in the media. So to the person who sent me that, if you have it, please send it back. Please send it back to me. I need it. I'd like to have that back again. Yeah, that would be nice. All right, let's look at some questions you guys may have. My Dolly Parton cup. Dollywood. That's July 4th. Harry and Meghan are going to have to not only go against the Prince and Princess of Wales, but Trump and Melania. Oh, yeah. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, what was the king and queen are coming for a royal visit to Washington. I doubt Harry and Meghan will be invited to that either. Yes, I also in my video pointed out that the line of succession was updated. They will not be removing Andrew from the line of succession. And that's in my video also, the amount of work it would take to remove that man from the line of succession, the amount of parliamentary time, every Commonwealth nation would have to agree. I mean, it's weird. It would take forever. Uh-oh. My screen has gotten fuzzy. Is it still fuzzy? Is it still fuzzy? Somebody? Okay. Give your dog. Yes. That has to be my internet connection. Somebody else said a little fuzzy, just a little bit. Yeah, unfortunately, you guys, that's my internet connection. I'm having an issue this morning, but can you still hear me? Okay. You guys can still hear me, right? Waiting on a response. It's okay. Somebody else wrote it's okay here. Okay, so you can still hear me. Yeah, call me Fuzzy Wuzzy. Maybe the internet will improve and it will correct itself because my screen is showing clear. So the audio's on. I can't do anything about the other. Oh, you know what? Let me try something here. I'm going to remove myself from the screen and put myself back on. That may, it shouldn't end the stream, but let's hope. Let's see if it fixes. Hold on. Is that better? Better? Let's hope. Oh, somebody said that they left and came back in and it got better. So you may need to do that. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Kathy Luna. Yes, that's going towards Finn. It always goes towards Finn. We do have, okay, the owner for the dog, for the dog, the owner did bring us medication. The problem we're having is getting the medication in the dog. He's not enjoying the medication. Uh-oh. I'm debating if I should end this stream and restart another one. Oh, somebody wrote better now. Yep. If you get out and come back in, apparently that improves it. So, oh my gosh. The owner has a ramp. We asked him for the ramp and he left the country without leaving us the ramp. So we can't get the dog onto the bed. It's really sad. So, and he's so big. If you saw the pictures the other day, I put up on the other channel, that poor dog, he's big, he's furry, he's heavy. I can't lift him. We can't lift him. He's just so big. Okay. Everybody's saying it's fine now. Fabulous. Okay. We're fixed. So now mixed medication with peanut butter. We'll have to try that. You know what we've been doing? There's one pill he doesn't mind eating, and he'll take that one. The other two pills, we've been wrapping them in the little salamis, about that big around. And this dog is so freaking smart. He takes it, he walks over, he opens his mouth, the pill falls out, and he eats the salami. I've never seen anything like it. This dog is smart, very smart. But anyway. All right. Does anybody have any specific questions about anything before we move on? Oh, Carol, thank you. She sent me a recipe for gravy. Of course, it's last year. I mean, I'll have to use it next year. You guys keep sending me recipes and stuff because I need new recipes for the other channel. So definitely send me those recipes. Hi, Revealing. Revealing's here. Revealing's in the house. How are you doing this morning? All good? We were just talking about the Australian trip and the rescue dog that I'm currently looking after, and the fact that the entire royal family is coming over, one in April, one in July, I believe. Yes, we talked about the family coming for the 250th. William and Catherine will be coming at that point. And I'm pretty sure that Harry and Meghan will do something like clockwork. Hey, Revealing, should I send you a link? Do you want to pop up for a minute? Yes. Let me just say, I am aware that the tabloids are now coming for Edward and Sophie, two of the hardest working royals. I will be covering that in my video tomorrow. So, yeah, tomorrow. Let me see if I can get her a link. Well, only if she wants to come up. Only if she says she wants to come up. But we will find, let me see, copy. Revealing if you choose. Oh, she says she can't join right now, but loves watching. I was going to say, if you choose, I was going to put the link. Never mind. Any news when the titles will be removed? I can tell you now that the titles will not be removed during King Charles's reign. I can tell you also, in my public opinion, this is just my opinion, and I'm putting it out into the public, in my opinion, William is going to take the king, once Charles passes, William will become king. And then William will remove all the prince and princess and HRH titles from anybody who is not in the direct line of succession. Is he going to leave them with Edward and Anne? Probably, because they're the last two children of Queen Elizabeth. But all the other, Eugenie, Beatrice, Harry, Eugenie and Beatrice's kids, if they have them, I don't know, but if they do, they're gone. Sophie and Edward's children, if they have them, which I don't think they do, they'll be gone. Harry and Meghan's children, they'll be removed, and they'll probably be removed from Harry. Don't forget that one of the royal families went ahead and did that. The Queen was getting ready to abdicate, and before she abdicated, she did that. Only the people in the direct line of succession have HRH and prince and princess titles. And they can still keep Viscount, Baron, whatever, but you don't get prince, princess, and HRH. They're gone. Non-working family members don't need those. Non-Jones, exactly what I just said. Non-working family don't need those titles just to have a title, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out that those titles are important, because every time they do any kind of negotiations for any kind of deals, anything that they do, anything, the titles are thrown in there. Without those titles, they're nothing. They're absolutely nothing. They won't remove the prince title. They won't remove the prince. Well, no, they would remove the prince title from Harry also, as well as Beatrice and Eugenie. Is Beatrice, Edo, Maposi, whatever that name is. I can never say it. And Eugenie Brookbank. They can still work. Viscount, Baroness, whatever. But only work. I don't feel that it should be working royals. I feel it should only be the people in the line of succession, because after William comes George, after George comes Charlotte, after Charlotte comes Louis. And of course, as soon as they grow up, and George will eventually get married, and George will have children, and everybody else will move a little bit further down the line of succession. So in other words, Princess Charlotte's children will not be entitled to prince and princess titles. Louis's children will not be entitled to prince and princess titles. Only George's children. You get what I'm saying? You have to be in direct line of succession. So I think that's what's going to happen. And now we're also talking tomorrow about the about the Big Kitchen. It's a pay to play. They've hosted WME. They've hosted Netflix. This is all in tomorrow's video, so I don't want to give away too much, because we're talking about a lot of stuff tomorrow. Again, another ridiculously long video, and probably an AI thumbnail. It doesn't mean anything, guys. Come on. Oh my God. For those of you just joining, somebody had a cow because I used AI thumbnails, and they're like, those aren't them. They're AI. Yeah. I think anybody with half a brain could figure that one out. Anyway, Queen Marguerite it was Queen Marguerite of Denmark. Yes. Right before, let me see if I can find that. Removes titles. Yeah. Here we go. It says very clearly, it was a year, let me see. Queen Marguerite made the decision to strip the royal titles held since birth from her older sons, Nikolai and Felix, and the younger children, Henrik and Athena. So I don't know how you say his name. Joachim. I don't know how to say it. They stripped the grandchildren. 4 of the 8 grandchildren lost their titles. Joachim. I don't know how you say them. The son was allowed to keep his prince title, but the children, no. So it'll be interesting. I think personally, Edward's children don't have prince and princess titles. I think William should remove the prince and princess titles from Beatrice and Eugenie, as well as Harry's children. And of course, they can't claim racism if those two get their titles pulled also. It's like, I mean, it gets to the point where it's like pulling off a Band-Aid. We're drip fed all this. It's like, just do it already. Just rip off the Band-Aid. Just, make these changes and do it now. And as far as Andrew being on the royal website, yes, he's on as the line of succession, but he should not be up there as a member of the royal family. That website should be for working members only. Again, just my opinion. Joachim. Okay, Prince Joachim. I think Carol is right. I think the Queen did that so that the new king coming up would just have a clean slate going forward. What? I broke my hip on a family bowling and I ended up in the gutter when I threw my first bowl. Oh my God. No. What publication? You have to look on my video, because what I do in order to save space is I take the screenshots and then I delete and I move on. Otherwise, I wouldn't have any room for anything. If Charlotte and Louis have children as working royals, will they have titles? No, that's the point. As soon as George has children, George's children going forward will have the prince and princess and the HRH titles. Charlotte's children will not. Louis's children will not, because they will no longer be in the direct line of succession. Get it? Only people in the direct line of succession should get that. So right now, George, Charlotte, and Louis are all in the direct line of succession. Will they keep their titles? Yes. But when Charlotte has children, her children won't be entitled to it. Neither will Louis, only George's children. Does that make sense? And then if George has 3 children, they'll all have the HRH and the prince titles. But if the first child has a child and the second and third children, their kids aren't entitled to it. It streamlines the prince and the HRH titles. It makes it easier to manage who's running around spewing these titles at everybody. I honestly think, and I mean this most sincerely, I honestly think Meghan knows the titles are going to be removed. And if anything, you would think that they would take a step back and go, oh, wait a minute, maybe we should stop our current trajectory, because if we don't, this is going to go badly for us. But nope, if anything, she's doubled down. She's throwing that title out, and she's using the name Sussex because I think she thinks that the general collective public will, even if the name gets pulled, will say, oh, they're Sussex. They're Sussex. So even if they don't have the dukedom. But with that being said, let me remind you guys that technically Andrew still has his dukedom. Parliament didn't remove it. He's been removed from the peerages. They've been, he agreed not to use them, but technically he's still the Duke of York, technically. So a Parliament didn't want to take the steps to remove the dukedom. They're not going to do that for Harry and Meghan either. And Harry and Meghan are never going to stop using those titles. So that's why the prince and princess titles and the HRHs can be removed by letters patent. That's easy to do. You don't need Parliament for that. You don't need Parliament to remove the prince title either, if I remember correctly, or remembering everything correctly. It was only letters patent that removed that. So it wouldn't be that big of a deal for the king to say, I'm removing the prince and prince titles from your children and the HRHs from your children, as well as from Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice. I'm removing all their prince and princess titles and their HRHs. They don't need them. You can keep your titles, but your kids aren't moving forward, are not going to be working royals. They'll never work for the royal family. They don't even know the royal family, and the royal family doesn't want to let them in. Don't forget that picture of Harry leaving the 45-minute long meeting with his father looking like a whooped puppy because he didn't get anything that he wanted in that meeting. And he was only on property for like 50 minutes. And don't forget, you had to get through security. I'm sure Charles wasn't with him for 50 minutes. They sat down and they sat down and they had a talk. And Harry gave a picture of the kids, because let's not forget that he was told this was like a test to make sure that he didn't leak anything that was in the meeting. And then, of course, Harry leaked everything. So he failed the test miserably. Let's not forget that as he was going through the UK, from the picture angles that were taken, it looked like there were huge crowds. And we found out later on, nobody was there. Nobody was there. I wonder if Harry sits back and remembers that since he's left the royal family, he's lost his brother, he's lost his father, he's lost his work, he's lost his security, he's lost Centobale, he's about to lose African Parks. And Invictus has lost over 2,000 athletes who refused to go there because we found out, did we not, through the Freedom of Information Act with Germany? Remember, that's in a video from how long ago, that some of the funds coming in went to pay for Harry and Meghan as multimillionaires, went to pay for their flights, their security, their clothing, their meals, her jewelry, everything. Money that should have gone to the veterans went to Harry and Meghan. And then Invictus put out a statement saying that the funds that went to them were earmarked for them. Do you really expect me to believe that people made donations to Invictus and said, I want those funds to go to Harry and Meghan's security while they're in Invictus? I want to pay for their flight. Really? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe that for a second. So now Harry is trying to force the royal family into some sort of a reconciliation by choosing this place in the UK for the Invictus Games, this place that's bankrupt. The public library is closed. They're not having their trash picked up. They're shutting down streetlights. Like, the town is in a mess. And this is when he chose it. And let's not forget that once again, I don't think Harry really wants to reconcile. He just realizes he needs the royal family. Birmingham. Thank you. Horses and Tiaras, Birmingham. Let me just remind you of something. I only watch YouTubers in the mission. You're so fabulous. Yes, there's a lot. You might want to go back to the beginning and start over. Harry could have chosen, but thank you. That money's going to Finn. Harry could have chosen any week to do the Invictus Games. Notice it's not on the same date every year. It moves around. It changes, right? He could have chosen any week. Instead, he chose the week of Queen Camilla's big, I think it's her 80th birthday. And they're planning all of these fabulous events. And so this is when he chose to go to Invictus, to do Invictus, because it's going to be a clash. Nobody from the royal family is going to go to Invictus. They're not going to show up. And Harry's going to cry victim again. He also will not be invited to the birthday celebrations for Camilla, and he'll cry victim again. They will not be bringing their children to Invictus for privacy. If they brought the kids to Invictus, that would go against everything they said about keeping the kids private, because they can't bring them back there also because of security concerns. So they will not be bringing the kids. So the big question is, will Meghan go back for Invictus? On the one hand, she never wants to step foot on UK soil again. She feels unsafe. She doesn't want to. Okay. On the other hand, who thinks that she's going to miss the opportunity for 4 outfit changes a day of new clothes that will be provided by Invictus, and strutting around in front of everybody and making Invictus all about herself? I should put up a poll, although I don't know how to do that, so I can't do a poll. I feel like they've lost a lot of Invictus people. The games are not about the people anymore. The games are about Meghan Markle and her outfit changes. She's made everything about her. Everything. And people are disgusted. And notice also, you don't hear anything else about Better Up. Apparently, Harry is still getting his $1 million a year salary from them, even though he's not doing anything for them. And he linked Better Up. Remember, they are not, what do you call it? They're not psychologists. They're not counselors. They're life coaches. How to organize your life. You can get that in a 6-month certificate online. So why an actual mental health psychological group was thrown aside for Better Up, I don't understand why that was allowed to happen. What do I think about the king's health? And thank you for the donation. That will go to Finn. What do I think about the king's health? I obviously, it's pretty obvious at this point, the king cannot be cured. They're maintaining him. It's palliative. They're obviously doing a good job. He's looking pretty healthy. I don't know if I don't want to speculate what kind of cancer it is. Just like with Catherine, I don't want to speculate. It's whatever they have. It's their personal medical information. And, Catherine only came out notifying everybody about her cancer because her medical records were hacked. And so by coming out with her statement, she negated anybody buying those medical records. So yeah, I think he'll last on those kinds of treatments. He could last another 5 years. I happen to have had a neighbor in my previous neighborhood who had metastatic breast cancer. She was maintained on therapeutic chemo and stuff like that, I think for like 8 years before she finally passed away. About 8 years. So, yeah. And then, of course, the treatments didn't work anymore. And then she went downhill quite quickly and then passed away. Joan, she was a wonderful woman. So he could last quite a while like this. He could last a while like this. So just saying. But yeah, I think that Meghan's going to want to go. She's going to want to strut around. And in case you guys didn't notice, Sophie went to, if you saw my video the other day, Sophie, my late sister, and lived on for several years. And my deepest condolences. Sophie went to Oxford, and she went to 3 or 4 different events, and she wore the same outfit to every event. And she was there all day. Go figure. She didn't stop for outfit changes. I'm just saying she's not going to pass up the chance for new clothing. And she's obviously running out of new clothing because she's re-wearing everything from the royal family. Oh, I have to go back. You didn't say no shit, Sherlock. No, I didn't. Because if you're that, I don't like the word stupid. If you're that uneducated or ignorant to think that I'm using real Harry Meghan pictures in my thumbnails, you're crazy. I use a lot of stuff from she's on Instagram as Mega Narcissist or Mega Narcissist. On Twitter, she's known as the Lean Meme Machine. She does she's absolutely amazing work. Up, guys. We got Trevor Colt in the house. Hi, Trevor. She does amazing memes. I'm no good at thumbnails. I've never been able to make thumbnails like ever. I've been on this for, God, how many years? 6 years. And people have tried to teach me and I can't do it. I suck at it. And so I found her. I'm using her stuff. And just in case you guys are wondering, yes, I have sent her money. I don't know that anybody else has, but I've sent her money for her services because I think she's just absolutely fabulous. And then what else was I going to tell you guys before we go? Trevor. Oh, God, I love him. And for those of you who don't know, because I didn't do a video on it, I don't remember what I went on their video a couple days ago. For those of you who don't know, Trevor has been cleared finally of all charges of stealing funds for a charity. He's had this going on, and they've done investigation after investigation. He's been completely cleared. So if anybody else calls the police at this point and says, guess what, he stole, I don't think the police are going to care at this point. Ah, good for you, Trevor. He deserves it. He deserves it. So he's been cleared. Yes, Carol's right. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button, please. So tomorrow's video, we're going to talk a little bit. We have a lot of royal family stuff. And yes, we are going to talk again about the fact that Sophie and Edward are now being attacked by the liberals. They're trying to talk about his house being like Andrew's. It's not. What did they say? Andrew hadn't paid rent there in like 20 years, whereas I believe Andrew is paying 90,000 pounds, which is like what, $120,000. I mean, obviously he's paying, but he also ponied up millions up front for renovations after the property was returned to the Crown Estates in the 1990s. So, yeah. Now, really quick, also, I'm going to click on this. Don't forget that last year, I think was it last year or the year before? I'm sorry for my cough. After my mother died, we had boxes of stuff that she kept, and we threw stuff into boxes, and we pulled the boxes out, and we found a book my father had written back in the 1960s, 1970s called Never Pet a Porcupine. And I published the book. It's a stocking stuffer. It's a really cute book. And it's on Amazon, and you can go on Amazon and buy one. And the cover was done by the body language guy. I contacted him and I said, I need a cover for my book that can't be copyrighted and blah, blah, blah. And he came up with that fabulous cover. So I sincerely hope that you guys will buy one of those books as a stocking stuffer. They're really cute. Sue, will you show a close-up of your wedding ring? The ring or the engagement diamond? The diamond. I don't. There you go. Okay. That was my 25th wedding anniversary upgrade that has not been on my finger. And for those of you who don't know the story, I told the story before. And the reason I'm saying I told the story before was because I actually got an email from somebody saying, you should have just loaned the girl that money. You shouldn't have bought the ring from her. Okay. So what happened was one of my friends, she was actually in my wedding. Her daughter was dating like 20 years ago, the CEO of a bank, and he was buying her gifts, including the ring. And she had the ring for like 15, 20 years. And then she decided to sell the ring. Well, a couple of years ago, the economy was terrible. And she put the diamond up for like 60,000, 50,000, 40,000. She kept dropping the price because nobody could afford the ring. She finally dropped the ring price into the mid 20s. And my husband was like, okay, we'll take it, but you have to put it in a safety deposit box and hang on to it while I make payments. She took payments like over 5 months, 6 months, because obviously we don't have that kind of money just sitting around. So she took the payments, and I got an upgrade for my 25th wedding anniversary. So let's see. Charles will die on the throne. Yes, he will. I don't see Charles, after all those years waiting to get on the throne, I don't see he's suddenly going to abdicate for William. And William's children are still rather young. And I think he wants to just be a dad for right now. You know what I mean? He just wants to be a dad. He doesn't want to do all the stuff that he's doing. So thank you. Yeah, nice diamond. I couldn't wear it. The girl who owned it, the ring was the size of like smaller than my pinky. She had the smallest little hands I'd ever seen in my life. So the ring had to be sized, then it had to be appraised, then it had to be insured. And I remember when we went into the store to do that, I looked in the case, there's a case of diamonds. And I was like, well, there's a 5-carat diamond right there for $12,000. Why did we pay what we paid? And the woman behind the counter goes, look a little closer. And I was like, what? And she goes, look a little closer. So I'm looking in. Oh, those are lab created. She goes, right, they're not worth as much. So this is not a lab created. This is an actual mined diamond. And it does say on the thing that it was ethically sourced, which I think means that nobody died for it, which makes me feel better. Coronated UK monarchs won't abdicate because they would be breaking their coronation vows to serve their entire lives. Oh, good point. I hadn't thought of that. Excellent point. Excellent point. Charles does look pale. Okay, so now I will say that I have seen several times Charles looking rather sickly white and pale, But the question is he heading out the day after he had a chemo? You know what I mean? Like, I would hope that they would do his schedule around his chemotherapy treatments so that he's not out when he's, you know, looking so weak and ill and all of that stuff. They're right. Yep. It's a religious ceremony. Good point. Yeah. Um, and I will say one thing about Charles. I think while Charles wanted to get on the throne and he was waiting a very long time, I want to say that Charles is extraordinarily lucky. How many people get to keep their parents into their 70s? You know what I'm saying? How many people go their whole lives with their parents? Wouldn't that be something? I'm telling you, because my father passed away 11 years ago. My mother passed away on Thanksgiving morning 8 years ago. But just imagine living into your 70s and your parents are alive to watch you, to watch your achievements, to watch your kids grow up and finish college. And, imagine. So Charles has been lucky. Maybe he doesn't see it that way, but Charles has been lucky in a lot of ways. But yeah, my mother is 91. Oh, that's such a blessing. While my parents did pass away 3 years apart, they both passed away at the age of 85. So they had long lives, but still. Okay, guys, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark. You guys know how I feel about going past an hour. So I did not just pull that article about Australia out of my hoo-ha. For people that are having absolute meltdowns, again, if I show something, I prove it. That's the one thing about my channel that you can count on. I don't just say, hey, I heard from a source that this happened. Hey, I heard from a source that happened. And I'm going to research it and get back to you as soon as I have that information. And then, of course, they never come back to talk about it anymore. And you never hear another word about it. And I have seen a lot of videos now of people, they're putting up videos saying that as ever products are being returned. As I showed you, they're non-returnable, non-refundable. They're saying for the nature of them. Okay, the food I could see, but not the candles. You should be able to return a candle, especially like Link Lauren, after he opened that candle on live television with no wick in it. He should have been able to return it. Just saying. So you need to pick and choose what you're watching because some stuff is real, some stuff is not. And I think you guys know by now, I don't usually do clickbait. If I say it, I can prove it. All right. All right, you guys, I hope everybody stays warm. It is freezing here, absolutely freezing, but I might go out later on and buy some new toys for Finn since Muro is just shredding the crap out of them. Even the toys that are supposed to be shred proof. You guys, for those of you who remember what happened to Finn, how many years ago now when he ripped open that toy and come to find out that they're approved toys, but the stuff in the toys can kill your dog. And Finn ate some of it and we had to go to the vet. You guys, I'm sure remember all of that. So we went out of our way to buy toys that can't be shredded and that can't be, the insides can't be eaten. And yeah, Lady Hawk, I have somewhere on my channel back at the beginning when we first adopted Finn, we had like $1,600 vet bills. He wasn't eating, something was wrong. And then we found out later on he ate some of the stuffing. They couldn't find the squeaker either. They were afraid he'd eaten that too. So you have to be careful when you buy toys. So we went out of our way to buy toys that Finn couldn't shred. And somehow this other dog managed to shred the crap out of them. So we're going to have to buy new toys. All right, I'm just putting this up. Birmingham is under Islamic rule. Wow. Stay warm and safe. It's 24. Yeah, it's cold here too. Yep, you got to be careful. When you buy toys for your animal, make sure they're the kind, it's cute and fluffy with the squeaker in the middle. Don't do that. because if your dog shreds it and eats any of that insides, the insides are toxic to the dogs. And that, by the way, is it's not regulated. It's not regulated. Oh, maybe I should start a dog toy thing with toys that, if your dog does rip it open, the insides won't kill your dog. There's a thought. Ethical dog toys. Okay, I'm going to do a startup. Why not? All right. Have a fabulous day, you guys. It's freezing out here. It's raining too. So stay warm, stay safe, and look out for my video tomorrow. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. That way you know that you'll get notified when I'm going live. You'll know when my videos come out. You'll know what's going on. And we go from there. All right. Okay, everybody. Have a fabulous day. Talk to you soon.